This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Doug Smith. It is 1 o'clock on Wednesday, so it is time for our 1 p.m. Monday through Thursday podcast. This is the podcast where you will hear the science about what actually happened during this opioid crisis, and we've made a lot of progress. We're picking up today where we left off yesterday. Okay, we for the past couple of weeks, well, what we've been doing is going through the second citizens petition page by page. And the subject matter that we've been going through has been, where did the wheels come off the bus? Not just the wheels, where did the wheels and the axles and the transmission and everything else come off the bus? And what we're finding out is that the psychiatrists, really without a lot of scientific evidence, as we saw yesterday, Dr. Alan Leshner just says, addiction is a brain disease. Okay, 1997, addiction is a brain disease. Okay, and by as if by proclamation, now suddenly, it's true. It's true because they say it's true. Okay, that's what this comes down to. It's true because they say it's true. Okay, and that's not the way science works, folks. You can't do that in science. Now, remember, the father of modern medicine, Dr. Karl Popper, said back in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, hey, psychiatry is not real science. Okay, psychiatry is pseudoscience. Psychiatry is on the level of astrology. Psychiatry is on the level of horoscopes. Psychiatry is not true science. It's not real science, because psychiatry is based on observations, and observations cannot be proven true or false. Okay, they're just an opinion. That's all psychiatry is. It's an opinion. And so when Dr. Alan Leshner says addiction is a brain disease, as we looked at yesterday, well, that's his opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but don't pretend that your opinion is the same thing as science. It's not. And so what we're doing today is we're looking at 3 studies. Okay, amazingly, this is amazing. There have really only been 3 good studies ever done looking at this theory of the brain disease model of addiction. Okay, or otherwise known as the dopamine theory of addiction. The dopamine theory of addiction is pretty simple. It says that anytime you're exposed to something that's addictive, whatever it is, it causes a surge in dopamine in the reward centers of your brain, and that this surge in dopamine in the reward centers of your brain is so incredible, so overwhelming, that it literally hijacks the neurocircuitry, the brain circuitry. It takes over your brain, and you become the equivalent of a zombie just looking for the next whatever it was. The next, gambling, the next chocolate, the next sex, the next alcohol, the next cocaine. And so that's what they said about opioids, that you guys were just stumbling zombies wandering from, opioid hit to opioid hit, because you're chasing this rush of dopamine in the reward centers of the brain. Okay. And they had a study from 1988 that looked at a whole bunch of different stuff: nicotine, amphetamines, morphine. And according to this 1988 study by Dashiari that was done in Italy, there was a little surge in brain dopamine. Okay, wasn't much. Okay, but supposedly it was there. Now, you're looking at the Dashiari study there on the screen in front of you from 1988. I don't know where you were in 1988. Okay, but that's what the idea that you're an opioid addict, the idea that you're a drug addict, is all based on a study from 1988. Okay, and in 1988, the way Dashiari did the study was he held the little mice really still, and he took a little drill and he drilled a hole in their skull. And then once he had the hole right where he wanted it, he held the mouse really still. He inserted glass tubes at exactly the precise point in the brain. Okay, and then glued them in place. Now, I can't think of anything that could possibly go wrong with that process. Can you? Okay, drilling the holes in the skull of mice and gluing glass tubes in place. Okay, and then he would give them, nicotine or morphine or amphetamines, whatever he was giving them, and through that little glass tube, he was looking for a surge in dopamine. Okay, it's called microdialysis if you want to look it up, microdialysis. And we don't do it anymore much, because now we use the PET scan. It's just a better way of doing it. PET, positron emission tomography. Don't get hung up on the big terms. Okay, and so in 1988, there was a Dashiari study that showed a little surge in dopamine in the brain in response to morphine. But then in 2009, and again in 2014, in 2009, here comes Douglas with a very well done study, not using microdialysis, not gluing little glass tubes in place in the mouse's brain, but using PET scans and using humans and looking for any surge in dopamine after the administration of an opioid. And lo and behold, Daglish saw no surge in brain dopamine, no surge in brain dopamine, no surge in brain dopamine. And this is using humans. And this was using a superior technique known as PET, the PET scan. It's not using little glass tubes and drilling holes in the skulls of the mouse. Okay, so that was 2009. Well, 2014, here comes another researcher, Watson, and basically replicates what Daglish did. And again, gave opioids to humans. Use the PET scan, look for a surge in dopamine, none. No surge in brain dopamine in response to the administration of an opioid. Let me say that again. No surge in brain dopamine in response to the administration of an opioid to humans. That was Daglish in 2009 and Watson in 2014. Okay, and yet still the psychiatrists are out there running around going, the dopamine theory of addiction, the brain disease model of addiction, the brain disease model of addiction. Okay, and in doing so, they're still citing the 1988 study. We'll look at this tomorrow. They're still citing the 1988 study. Okay, we'll look at this tomorrow. We'll see the date, 1988. And they're ignoring the 2009 study, and they're ignoring the 2014 study. Now, I'm in the process right now of writing up the class action lawsuit. And as I'm going through this, I'm realizing, hey, these guys have vulnerability. Okay, these guys committed fraud. Okay, it's just frank fraud. Okay, you're promoting a 1988 study and you're ignoring a 2009, 2014 study. You can't do that. It's called fraud. And that fraud had impact on the people. To some of you I'm speaking to, that fraud had a huge impact on you. Okay, we got to hold them accountable. So as I'm going through writing the draft for this class action lawsuit, I mean, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm just adding more and more people. And I'll be honest with you guys, it feels good. It feels like justice. It feels good. It feels like justice. And I want justice for you people. And I want you people to see justice. I want you people to have justice. I want you people to see your tormentors, the people who did this to you. I want you to see them be held accountable. So stay with us. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're doing with this citizen petition number 1 and the citizen petition number 2, and with these podcasts. We are going to hold these people accountable for what they have done. Their days of glory are numbered. All right, let's hold here today. Please tune in tomorrow, 1 o'clock every Monday through Thursday. My name is Dr. Doug Smith. This is our podcast where you'll hear the science about what actually happened with the opioid crisis. Please remember, like and subscribe to us. Please remember, post this video on your social media, post it on everybody else's social media, especially now that we're rolling forward with the class action lawsuit. We want as many people involved as we possibly can. We'll hold here for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.